Do you need a reminder to be present and aware? Is it even helpful? There's something that I've been seeing a lot of recently. I'm working one-on-one with someone. We get to a certain point in the conversation where I'm pointing out the fact that this awakened aware presence that we already are right now is completely immediate and completely unconditional. I'm knocking over all of the mind's objections to it one by one. And when you tell me, I've had glimpses of this in the past, but it doesn't stick. I simply ask you if you agree that that is a memory that appears in this open space of awareness. And asking you, is that memory ever an obstacle to being aware of awareness and recognizing you already are this awareness that's appearing right now? And you say, well, of course not. And for a moment, you rest in the experience of yourself as this openness, this unconditioned presence. And there's a sigh, and your shoulders drop, and the whole body responds by relaxing. And maybe a smile emerges as you bask in the refuge of this timeless awareness. You've come out of the past into the eternal now. But then you go into the future and you say, I feel like I need a reminder for this. I need to put up reminders up on the wall or an elastic band around my wrist. Otherwise, I might lose this. Or at the very least, I just need someone or something to keep reminding me about this. I don't want to lose this. But do you? Now, I'm not saying don't do those things. There's nothing inherently good or bad about reminders, about more self-inquiry, meditation on awareness, more listening to non-duality speakers on YouTube to keep reminding yourself. But we first need to understand what is driving the impulse. What is driving the impulse to give yourself constant reminders? And what is driving the fear that you'll lose it if you don't have that? That's right, it's the same illusion you've been trying to overcome. It's more of the person thinking that it can do something to get to this, thinking that it can do something in time to get to what is already timeless and always immediately available without conditions. So you see, it's more mind activity that appears in this openness of now, and there are absolutely no conditions to this because you're already it. You already are this consciousness within which that mind activity appears. You don't need to go via the mind activity or some object or some reminder to get to this because this is already present. But the mind always wants a job to do, right? Otherwise, what will happen? It ends, and what's revealed is this open boundlessness, already immediate and requiring no effort to recognize. Now you might be thinking, okay, I see that, so I must stop the seeking. I must stop trying to find this all the time and just try to recognize that it's already here. But who is the one that's going to be doing the trying? There it is again, the same illusion. And you can notice that even the thoughts, I'm still seeking, I'm still trying to find this, are absolutely no obstacle to recognizing you already are this. And even the thoughts, I need to try to stop seeking and trying to find this, are no obstacle to recognizing you already are this. And so you can remain as this experientially and watch the thoughts do their thing. Watch the illusion of the person trying to seek and then trying to stop seeking and spinning around in circles, and it all happens within this, and you just simply rest as this openness and look at the person mind activity and say, thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for always being on my team and having my best interests at heart and always trying to find me peace and joy and freedom. But I know something you don't. I'm already it. This is already it. And you let that trickle into the character until it rests and falls away. You see, they say non-duality is the end of seeking, but really it's the end of thinking seeking needs to end. Because If your true nature is unconditional, then it can't even be conditional on seeking. Allow the person to seek and try to get and understand this whilst knowing it's already here. The mind is going to try and get and understand this, and that's okay. There is an understanding on the level of the mind too. It's just never going to be able to encapsulate the absolute. It's never going to be able to get the absolute truth because it always appears inside this absolute truth. How can the mind get outside of this to encapsulate it? How is it going to get outside of everything and try and put it in a box? But we don't have to stupefy ourselves. We can still talk about it. We can still understand this relatively. We can still contemplate what this all means for our human life experience and can still form a whole intellectual model of the universe based on this truth that there is only one consciousness. And we can still do science and maths and physics, and it all still works. And we can still use these things to get a relative understanding of the world. It's just now you know the world isn't separate and out there, but actually our reflection. We're looking at ourselves, we're looking at consciousness. And there is nothing outside of consciousness because it's all you've ever experienced and it is all you could ever experience. So why imagine something separate out there? Why imagine that everything and everyone else is separate from you when they've only ever appeared as this consciousness that you already are and will forever experience? Why think the universe is out there when you've only ever experienced it in here, in you? You've only ever experienced this boundless awareness that you've always been and always will be. Consciousness, dreaming. Why limit yourself to anything else? Why identify with any other concept? Because it's always a limitation. It will always be a contraction down onto one idea when you are this limitless infinite space in which and as which all ideas appear. So when the identification with being just a person truly falls away, you don't need reminders. But you also don't need to stop giving yourself reminders because neither are conditions on being experientially who you really are. You stop watching non-duality videos to find something new, and you start watching them as a celebration, an embodiment of who or what you already are. You see that confirmation in the apparent other reflecting back to you the truth of what already is. Whether it's on video or through the phone or in person, you engage with the apparent other knowing that they are ultimately you. They are your own reflection. We're here to show ourselves something about ourselves, a way of seeing our limitless nature in a limitless number of ways. So do you need a reminder? Yes and no. Use them if you wish. Just know that nothing is needed to live as your true self apart from you, your true self, your true nature, awareness, consciousness, this that's appearing right now and forevermore. For one-on-one coaching inquiries for those willing and serious about life transformation, go to speaktoalex.com. See you in the next video. Peace.